Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text Larry Reid Live to 33222. That's the words Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222 and get notified when we go live. Become a member of the Patreon. Log on to LarryReidLive.com, click Patreon, sign up, download the Patreon app, and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
This platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. And if the information creates conversation that I feel like I want to have or that we need to be had as a community, then it could become a feature story here on LRL platform. Now, remember, I am not a journalist. I am a commentator. Now, all information that I share out here is always assumed to be alleged, but my commentary will always be real. Click like, click share. Tell not and every darn body that we are on. Let's go. All right, you are locked into Larry Reid Live, and I'm friend of what I wanna be. Larry Reid Live. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put that intro song up so y'all can just stream it over to and over to and over to Adern again. Hello, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can meet me here for your absolute most favorite digital entertainment news and talk show where we discuss what has happened in our world in the public. And sometimes we have interviews with people it has happened with, and sometimes information comes to us that don't go nowhere else. And so we have a great time here. My job is to make you laugh and then learn you a little bit while we are here every single week. And it is extremely important that all of y'all that are listening to me will take a moment and share. Let me tell you this now. If you are watching me right now, and maybe you say, you don't want to donate financially, you don't want to sign up for Patreon to support, the one thing that you can do every single time you see a post, you see a share, YouTube community, Facebook, or on Twitterations. Anytime you see any of those things, you hit like, you comment, and you share. You promote this platform. It may not mean money on all platforms. It can mean that on YouTube. And if I have uploaded it on Facebook and it's not a live stream, it can mean money there as well. But the brand advocates and the advocating of this platform is really what gives this platform the power that it has in our community. So what I want you to do right now, so you don't miss any live every single week, I want you to text Larry Reid Live with no spaces in it to 33222. All of the young LRLers help the older LRLers explain them how to do this because they don't get it because they keep inboxing me 33222. I'm like, no, this is not how any of this works. It's not how this is not how it works. So I need for you to help. Please help your nearest older LRLer. so that they don't miss anything. So text Larry Live to 33222. And those you say, I'm going to go ahead and become a part of the Patreon. I'm really not interested in hear all of the teachings, the interviews, and the fun time y'all have over there live in Patreon. But I do want to support, and it's easy for me to do. I'm going to just sign up. Go to LarryReidLive.com, click Patreon, and then when you do that, you have to download the Patreon app. I'm a content creator there. I don't manage it or your account at all. You have to download the Patreon, turn on your notifications, and they will let you know anything I do inside of Patreon. And I want to say thank you to every last one of you guys that have signed up to Patreon. And if you sign up to Patreon, you got, I think, 3 more days. Now, let me go ahead and tell you this. If you don't listen to what I'm about to tell you, you're just going to miss out because I keep extending this, but it's the last time I can do it. If you sign up now, you will receive, and we're going to go through this book. We haven't done it yet in July because we had some doctors over there talking about COVID and also some therapists talking about, the things that we're going through because we're all experiencing some type of loss, even if it's just a loss of routine. But we are going to be going through this book. It's called Let the Church Say Change as opposed to Amen. I wrote it in 2009, and I put it out 2011. So let me say this to each and every one of you. When you get over there, you got to scroll back. Do it from your laptop. And whenever you see this book, look up under there. I give you the code and the site to go to download the audio and also the PDF free. It comes with your signing up to Patreon. So you have to do that. I can't inbox all of you guys because I was doing it at the beginning. I don't have but 5 nerves. And really, I do all of this by myself, a little piece of help from the help out and this one, that one, and the other one. But it's ultimately me. And I ain't got no more can in me. No more can is in me. It's just can't when it comes to inboxing everybody. I can't do it. So I need for y'all to help one another. Help one another. Scroll down there and find the code. Tell everybody when they say they don't got it. And I can't answer all these emails. Now, I will be increasing the team to help with all of this stuff that is going on. We got T-shirts just sitting. We got some everything just sitting. And y'all want this stuff. But give me a little time. I'm working on some stuff. It's coming. Go sign up tonight. And all of you guys that are hitting like and hitting share, and you may just pop in when I'm talking about a topic that you like. And that's the time when you hit the CashApp, you hit the Venmo. I want to say thank you to you as well. And remember, if at any time on tonight, you be like, oh, that was fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the chat. Make sure you don't come and then leave and don't leave some kind of I enjoyed you. That's what we say to church. Remember the old folk that come to you, I enjoyed you. I said, what you in Georgia for? But what's North Carolina? I was raised in North Carolina. What's in North Carolina? What you in Georgia? Oh, I get what you saying. You enjoyed me. It's I enjoyed you. And so if any time tonight you can hit whatever right now, you can text the word give to 404-800-4530. That's the word give to 404-800-4530, and conversation starts happening, tell you what to do. Or you can go to LarryReidLive.com and you click donate, and you can do anything, get any amount from anywhere around the world from that website. Or for the older LRLers, and I want to thank some of you that have emailed paper mail through the post. 780 Morosco Drive, Northeast, number 244224, Atlanta, Georgia 303. I want to thank Karen. I'm just going to say your first name because some of you said, don't say my name because you sneaking and sending some money from behind your husband back and your pastor back. So Karen was actually the one, if you go on the IG or any of the platforms, you can see where she sent me a T-shirt where it says, I am Paper Bible Saved. She sent me that. So God bless you, Karen. God bless you. God bless you. Also, Heather sent something, and I can't say your last name because you hiding, but thank you so much. Carlene also sent something. Sally sent something into Morosco Drive, Northeast. Ina, you know who you are. I hope I say your name properly. Sharon And then also, yeah, and that was it. So I read some last week. Those are sitting right here. And the ones from this week, thank you for sending all of the different type of stuff you send. I'll sit there and I'll read every last one of them. Thank you so much. So at any time during tonight, you say, okay, I want to do something. I'm going to go ahead and support the platform. This black business. We in that mode of supporting black business. You hit that Venmo. You hit that Cash App. And make sure you send something to Venmo or Cash App in the 8s. What do you mean? Put 3 8s in it. If it's $8.88, thank you. Some of you want to do $88.08. Long as there are 3 8s, and it has to do with something that I shared with you guys. And I do it every week on the prayer line we have on Sundays. Yes, we do. We laugh and cut up here, but some of us paper Bible say when we do have prayer on Sundays at 7. And there's something I told you about year 20, 21, 22. If you go right now, you can hear this past Sunday. It's still up. It stays up until we do it again. So you can call that number. You'll see it in the chat. Have I got it to where I can put it in the chat? I don't think I do. Let me see. Have I? I don't see it in here where I can't put it in the chat because y'all going to be asking me into my, well, how we spoke. Oh, here you go. This is how, let me tell you. I'm going to send it in here right now. But, y'all going to have to do a little lead work. I told you it's just me. Justed me. It ain't nobody else. I got some here. What you saying? Yeah, I had a flyer with all the information, but I ain't got all that yet. Okay, but here we go. I'm putting it in here so you can have it. Here it is. Facebook, you just got it. So you screenshot it, screen record it so that you know. You can go over there after tonight or every morning. Somebody told me, said, I listen to it every morning, 7 days a week until you do a new one. And it just helped me with my personal prayer time. That's great. I'm honored to be able to help you laugh, cut up, have a good time, keep you informed. We go from ministry to message to Pentecostal to absolutely crazy, so, and that's all of who I am. This is me. And so you can text Reformation to 33222, that same number, and you'll get a text before we go live. But after the show, I just put the link in there. After the show, or in the morning time when you wake up for prayer, you can play that and we'll just pray together. And thank you to those of you that support MBNNetwork, which is a nonprofit 501c3 that supports and empowers this platform. And some of you don't have church homes, and you do your teruma, you tithe, and you actually embrace my financial wellness plan that I taught over there on Zoom with Patreon. And you're giving to the poor, you're giving to the stranger. That's something that we put into place because you gotta be given to the poor and to the stranger on an individual level. Y'all be putting it off on the churches, but it's really on you. I mean, the church do what they want to do, but it's on you to take care of the poor, the stranger, the widow. All right, so that's a whole nother conversation. Oh yeah, thinking that's when you do this. Look at there. Go ahead and download the LRL app. It don't matter if you Android, which is the absolute devil, or you Apple. That's where God folk, paper Bible say folk, we use the Apple when we got to do stuff that we need to do in the digital world with our phones and stuff. All right. So it's time to get into the topics. And I already see some of you guys donating. Thank you so very much for trusting this platform. Now, we're going to talk about these Sou-Sus or the money loom type thing. I had to call some of my Jamaican friends and say, why go on? Because this thing is old and originated, some of the earliest civilization is the Chinese, but they did it, the Caribbeans, West Africans, Jamaicans. So I want to explain it because the reality is some of you have been burned. Some of you have been blessed. So we're going to talk about whether you should get in it or not. Is it a Ponzi scheme? Or was it just that the one that you was in was a Ponzi scheme? So I'm going to talk to you about it. That's how we're going to end our show before we open up the lines. And remember, When the lines open, 833-LRL-LIVE. But first, we're going to get into this whole conversation about COVID-19 and some other things you already see in the title. All right, number one. Let me tell y'all this, because this thing is irritating me. If I see one of y'all walking around here without a mask on your mouth and your nose, if I see you, I'm going upside your head. That's it. I'm going upside your head. If I see you walking around here with your whole mouth loose and your nose wide open like this, and shooting out your air, and everybody got to walk through your breath cloud, I'm going upside your head. You not none of LIL. Because LILers, although we may have the faith to walk around here without no mask, still going to church and worshiping the Lord and going to these stores, ain't wearing no mask, and we just got faith, and we ain't nothing touched our body. Now, some of y'all doing that, okay, that's you. But for me and my house, I got folk in my family 80, 90 years old. And you don't know whether you asymptomatic, whether you positive or not, you shall not be walking around me, nose wide open, mouth flapping, nothing crossed it, spewing out your droplets, and having them floating up in the air, coming up in my face and attaching itself to my lungs. It's not happening. And the numbers is going up every darn where. I don't want you to be scared, but I want you to be a darn where. So there are a few things that I want you to do. Number one. And we done this, the patrons, we doing this. We all coming off red meat until the pandemic is over, because that is going to help boost our health. Also, what we are doing, some of us are putting away the soda pop, not messing around with the sugar, which all of these things are helping your health, ultimately your immune system, because this disease attacks the immune system. We are on vitamins. Now, there are 3 vitamins that we are on, and we talked to a doctor. I get on a site where they can go and sign up and get them a 3-month supply. At one time, I told them to go ahead and get 6 months supply of D3, vitamin D3, because they're noticing in COVID patients that there is a vitamin D3 deficiency. And if you black or brown, you already know that the melanin in your skin blocks and hinders you from receiving all of what you need to receive from the Son of God. So it's important for you to take vitamin D3. And we're on 10,000 units of that a day for 2 weeks. Then we drop it down to 5,000. We're on 1,000 of vitamin C and 1,000 omega. And these we are taking for a specific reason. Now, you can take other stuff and that's whatever, but we just listen to the physician that we spoke with and changing our diet. Now, it's really good. I'm on my way to plant-based. I'm on my way. But I don't want to shock I ain't got but 5 nerves. And I don't want to shock myself and send myself just straight into pandemonium in the middle of a pandemic. Because that's what will happen if I run away from all of the meat. I'm a meat eater. I love chicken. And I love sausages. And I love hot dogs and pizza and pepperoni. Oh my God, I love fried chicken. But what I'm doing is I'm taking my time and I'm backing up off of stuff. And then being active. And this is another thing I want you to remember. If you already have COVID-19, don't take the vitamin D3. Please type that in there, because I've heard for some of you LRLers that do have COVID-19, but it's not a bad case. Don't take the vitamin D3. You can double up, triple up on your vitamin C if you want to, your water intake, and sleep on your stomach. Because the virus, of course, it finds the weakest spot and exploits everything. But for most patients, it is focusing on your lungs and messing with your darn breathing. So sleep on your stomach or several times a day. lay on your face, take deep, deep breaths, holding your breaths, and just keeping your lungs active. You got to think about this because remember originally it was called an unknown pneumonia because it attacks the lungs. So you got to stay active. If you're in a hospital and you have pneumonia, they tell you to walk every so often. They bring a machine in there, you got to breathe and exercise your lungs. So these are things that you can do. Now, all of you that's walking in that level of faith, you're not wearing a mask, and you're not really washing your hands more than normal because doing so, and I talked with somebody today, I said, well, what if people come to your church and they wear masks? They said, well, that's fine. I'm not going to tell them not to wear a mask, but they don't need to bother me about not wearing a mask. And if I teach my people about walking in faith where they're not doing anything that sort of sends a signal that you believe that you're going to get the COVID-19. I'm teaching my people like that. And they have to respect that if that's what you want to do in your church. If the people coming there and they want to do that, that's fine. I said, well, are you washing your hands or are you taking vitamin C? No, it's if I do that, it sort of is a sin against my consciousness because I'm moving like I think I can get it. I said, and I cannot get it. I'm a child of God and I'm protected. I said, okay. And I want all of you LRLers to at least be able to sit with what somebody else believes and what their behavior is, although to you it's stupid. Although to you, now they ain't quite common sense, and you're putting people in danger. And we can say all of those things, but we have to allow people to at least have their own point of view and practice and sense of being, because this is the world. And LarryReidLive, everybody that's in the comments, some folks don't know nothing about Jesus, don't want to know nothing about Jesus. And atheists, Catholic, we got everything. On Patreon, we get to see each other face to face. We got everything. Transgenders, we have everything you think that is as opposite of what your being and your existence and your belief is. They're part of LRL. And I want all of you guys to be ready for the future. And in the future, even if you are a preacher or a pastor, you're going to have to be able to have a conversation that does not offend, because the truth already offends. But most of that stuff y'all talking about, oh, it's the truth and it's offending somebody. I know that's what you believe, your biases and your bigotry. But the truth offends already. So we don't need to be sitting down with folk that's totally opposite of us and saying and doing and acting in a way that's offensive on top of the truth that we got to tell them. Because there's some folk we got to tell, you's a hoe. No, you ain't got no problem because you molested and raped. You is hot in the tail and you is an entire hoe. And sometimes you got to tell, because folk, only the truth going to make you free. Sometimes you got to tell some folk, you's a hoe. And this is what it is. All right, let me go on to the next thing. Can y'all see me well? My computer's acting up. Okay, y'all can see me well, but my computer's acting like they can't nobody see me. All right. Oh, I love this comment because I didn't have this conversation with the person, and when they said this, I listened to them. I wanted to say, do you brush your teeth to protect yourself from gum disease? Do you wear a seatbelt? So if this is something that is consistent throughout your whole life, or is this just surrounded this COVID-19? If this is just surrounded this COVID-19, is this because your faith in what the Bible says about assembly itself together, you interpret that as it means that you have to come to the church? And so there's so much conversation that is going on about that. John MacArthur, I made a comment the other day, and I posted this. Let's look at this post. I want to introduce you to John MacArthur. Hold on for a minute. I asked you before I came down here, did you have my post? You said no. I asked you, did you have... Now, see, this is the problem. Now, see, y'all think I'd be fussed and I'd be upset, but you not paid to do half a job. I asked you, and I just upped your pay. I don't read no text. You said, are you doing the topics from your post? I said, yeah. I said, do you have my post? Read what I said. Read it. And
I said.
Do you want me to read it?
I said the Loom post that was already in here.
Y'all just pause the show, walk away. I'm fussing. What you mean? I know what I said.
You ain't said nothing about no John MacArthur, Reid.
I said my post. You said, are you doing everything? You said, so you're only talking about trending stuff from your feed. I said, yes. He said, you said the whooping post, the white man who whooped his white child. It said, I said, well, not that, cause I can't show it.
You said.
And then, wait.
You had the post I made, right? And I said, yes, it was already in here, though. You must have put it in there. You said the Loom one. I said, yes. You said
okay, all right.
John MacArthur.
But I'm talking about all the posts. Even the folk on LRL that watch the show know that I put the post up and then commentate on the post I made. We already know. They know that. They're not getting paid.
You need to be more specific.
I need to be more specific, or do you need to be doing your job better and asking questions? Lord have mercy. Let me find the post on my phone and act like a whole ghetto show while we trying to be professionals and trying to go to the next level. I'm just on the line with the BET folk, and now I got to come up here and be a whole ghetto show. Let me be a ghetto show and scroll on my phone that y'all could have seen while up here and talk about the post I made. I know mama don't even bother me. She's like, you can quit fussing that Kendall. What? I love Kendall and I do right by Kendall, but sometimes he don't do right. He don't do right. But he managed to take all them pretty pictures and post them all over the internet in perfection.
What does that have to do with this?
What you say?
What does that have to do with this?
It got everything to do with it. It's posting. You managed to post all them model pictures.
It's two different things.
It ain't no two different things. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John MacArthur. This is what I posted. Were you supposed to be looking at it? I said, Pastor John MacArthur of California's Grace Community Church has announced that his church will continue to hold in-person services despite state-mandated restrictions. He said the state ain't God and doesn't have authority over the church. Now, what y'all think about this here? This is what I think. Now, remember, the number is 833-LRL-Live, and I'm going to open up the phones. I'm going to get through all of this really fast. And I'm going to want to know what y'all thinking about certain ones of this topic. You ain't got but a minute to talk to me, so you got to run it through real quick. But I'm going to want to know what y'all think concerning this here. But this is what I think. This is my commentary on this here. This is this man's church, and he can do what he desires to do. And the people that are in the pews can make the decision if they want to come or not, because he said that he is going to continue to have, in one of our nation's hotspot states, going to continue to have in-person services. So let's go ahead and put that out there. Now, allegedly, there are other pastors who are having services and none of their people have COVID-19. So them say. I can't go through there with one of them tests and swipe nobody in the back of their throat and the back part of their nose and really take it over there to the store and find out for real if it's positive or not. But I only can go by what they say, and I have synced a few. They are saying that nobody in their church have caught the COVID-19. Nobody got the corona. So that's that. Maybe it's a work of faith. Maybe folk get the symptoms and they apply their faith and they get through it all and they're all right. At least we can say nobody has died from the COVID-19 in those churches where they're saying nobody has a positive. So this man can do whatever he desired to do. Now, this is what I think. Dumb with 4 B's. And I know you normally don't hear the B in the word here in the English language. But here on LRL, when it don't make good sense, we let that B be heard. Dumb. Dumb, I say. And let me tell you why. Now, let me be clear. I am a person of faith, and I do believe. Now, somebody else would say, no, you don't because you're wearing masks. But I do believe God is able to do all things. If I got the COVID, he can heal me. I've seen it happen. So I'm a person of faith, but there ain't too much foolish in me. And this here to me is a little piece of foolish. A little piece. Because you look like you 159, 158 years old. And I'm pretty sure you passed to some other folk that's at least 130, maybe 90. And I don't think it's wise for the asymptomatic community spreaders that tend to be the millennials who are making these decisions to still go out there to the butt shaker places and go out there to the eateries and then not wearing no mask and come back home, give it to Gramps and to Grandma and Pa them. And then the 159, 130, 90-year-olds folk, they choke over with the COVID, dead. So I don't think across the board for a church public assembly where everybody is coming up in there, and I don't get it. I couldn't do it as a pastor. I would say, look, because as a pastor, you know, you ain't been more got no faith, you ain't living right, you ain't got no prayer life, you ain't got an ounce sense of who God is. All y'all stay home. Just in case the COVID coming here, all of us filled with faith and understand the power and the science of group prayer. We can handle COVID coming here, but y'all can't. You'll get it and they'll take you out of here straight to hell because y'all don't live right no high. You know. So that's just what I got to say about that. All right, next case. Ain't it what that girl used to say? But there's another white pastor that just says something a little different. But I found out something since I made the post. Since we ain't got the post, there's a man named Jeremiah Johnson. And let me tell you the post that he made on the internet. I made this post, of course, hundreds of you comment. That's what we do with LarryReidLive. We turn our notifications on. We get into the conversation. We have conversations because it's in the public. And we like to discuss. So Pastor Jeremiah Johnson says he received a communication from God now that much of the way forward in the future will be centered around the home. When I read, I said, talk now. Ooh. Say the word. Say the word. So I'm going to post. Then I say this in the post. I said, I'm going to post the link so you can check it out. We've been discussing this for some time here. How many of you believe that for the moment is key word, that for the moment the brick and mortar is out of order and must move to click and order? So let me click his link. Let me tell you what he put. He said, I had a powerful dream last night where God showed me much of the way forward for his people in the years ahead will centered around the reality of home. I saw written in the heavens, home church. Well, you know, that's really how church began. Home school, y'all went and put it over in the buildings, but we don't see none of that in the biblications. But we do see the meetings in the home. But y'all done went and drug everybody up into these buildings. Man did that. And I'm going to say it's a divine idea and purpose behind it. But you know, like I know, I pastored for 20 years and everybody ain't have the heart I had when it comes to pastoring. I found out quite a few pastors. It was a business move. It was their way to be an entrepreneur. And it had little to do with the divine idea behind the reason for creating these buildings to where people come to worship God. Those buildings were created where God folk come together. Now y'all done talked about it's the place for a hospital. It's the place for the spiritually sick. It's the place where everybody's supposed to come and get. No, y'all made that up. But in the biblications, the purpose for a gathering is for God folk to come together for baptism in Jesus' name, for eating of the Lord's body, the Lord's Supper, washing of the feet, for worship and praise together, and to hear the prophetic word, for teaching and confirming in the faith. That's what a church is for. Not this stuff y'all done made up to build y'all empires and turn them into whole businesses and put cafes and everything up in there. But that's what you want to do. You go ahead and do that. But don't you come try to make me believe that that's what Jesus wants you. We got to come to that. And that's what he meant by not forsaking the sin. Don't you come up with that. Because according to my biblications, and I am, paper Bible say, the church was in the house. Go over there to Eunice's house and y'all go have prayer over there at Eunice's house and take the Lord's Supper. You get hands laid on you and been pushed out into the ministry and go with Apostle Paul, John Mark. Go with Apostle Paul over there, cast out demons, and go over there and set up a church. See, in your Western mind, you think that means go and get a lease and everybody go have church over there. That ain't what that is. But anyway, I done got off. Home church, he put in there, home school, home births, homegrown foods, home developed medicines, home technology, home defense systems. So this is very interesting. So I made this post, and of course y'all went in. Here he is saying all this, but where was he at before the pandemic? Folk killed me trying to be prophetic with all these dreams once a pandemic start. You know, I take that for what it is. I understand it. How many times you have not seen something, then it comes and you pray, and then God speaks to you about how to operate in that season or in that situation or that condition? It happens all the time. Because the reality is most of us are draining our spiritual energy by keeping the phone in our face, the computer in our face, on the phone, in a relationship that's toxic, running from this to that to try to give ourselves serotonin and dopamine shots, by what is happening in our life. So we just hijack totally and far away from the center of ourselves and our own prayer life and stuff, and we just live a life. So most of us find ourselves in that place where stuff pop up like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Lord, let me pray. And then God give you a strategy and speak to you. So we're not going to kill this man for being late. But one of the LR elders was saying, no, he's been saying this for a long time. I wasn't able to verify it. So I said, let me spend a little time and start looking up stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, another handy LR elder made a post, a link to a video. And I looked at this here video just made days ago. Let me tell you what this man said. Now, this is what's interesting to me. Maybe I didn't fully understand the video that I watched, and maybe I need to talk to him and find out what he meant. But to me, he sounded like he double talking. Because you see, I just read you word for word his post. Correct? Yes, I did. Now listen to what he said, and I ain't going to play the video, to what Jeremiah Johnson said in his video, July the 17th. Go on his page and you can watch it. Jeremiah Johnson Ministry. You ain't going now. The devil is a lie. Keep clicking like and sharing. And if you enjoying what's happening now, go right now to your Venmo, to your CashApp, and them 3 8s and support this platform. Don't you go over there and run over there. Support black business right now. Okay, now listen. Whenever I say that, Nancy, you need to put something down at the bottom, because some folk be asking as if we not saying it 159 times during the show. But you still put it there for those that actually pay their attention. I think some folk, they just listen to the show while they're doing other stuff and ain't looking. I think that's what it is. And you also can do Zelle and, of course, do all of them. But anyway, let me tell you what this Jeremiah Johnson said now. He said, and I quote, I'm not putting no words in the mouth. Let me get a drink. Oh, thank you, Jesus. This is what it said. Jeremiah Johnson. He said, the media is the most anointed false prophet in the land, speaking lies. Then he began to rebuke online church and online church conferences and said it was playing into people's desire to be spiritually lazy and ultimately to forsake the assembly of themselves together. I don't understand. I don't overstand, and I don't understand. I don't get it. Because you just finished saying, as I chew fake air gum, I don't understand. I don't get it. Help me understand. It's like apples and oranges, pears and bananas. Why? This don't make no sense. And why? So this brings me back to this conversation I had before. And black preachers and white preachers do it. And people in power do it. And I do my best not to do it. And if I do it, I call my own self out. I don't need nobody to call me out because I'm very aware. And I don't have no shame. It looked like to me, I keep finding white pastors, though, that are so deeply devoted to their political party that even when God is trying to give them a pure stream of the prophetic, I mean, to hear exactly what God is saying to them to tell to us, they get some of that Republican stuff that come up out of them, or Democratic stuff, because all of them do it. So you go into the whole Trump fake news thing. What you talking about? The media is the most anointed false prophet in the land speaking lies. You a whole lie. Now that I can't say it no other way. That's a lie that is taught from the right. That's Republican chapter. That is our presbyter, the president, businessman, entertainer, Donald Trumpet's talk. God ain't told you that. Because you have a media book that you preach from and say is prophetic. Without media, there would have been no Bible. Media is vloggers, bloggers, a blogger and a scribe or secretary, someone like Barak, that recorded. That is the world of media. Media's first form is writing. That's just oral and then writing. Prophecy's first form is writing. It's oral and then writing. So to call media the false prophet, you're literally coming against your very spiritual vocation. Tear up your sacred book, Christians, if you don't like the media, because the media gave you your publications. The media gave you your publication, dumb, with 3 B's. Simple as that. See, you can't get so caught up in who you like, what you like, that you can't be able to scrutinize, go over with a fine-tooth comb, and look at that thing and be unbiased. See, I don't know him, so it's easy for me to do. But those of you that know him, it may be a little difficult. You may be, God, Larry, you shouldn't have said it like that. That's the man of God. I understand. But men of God come in all different forms. And he ain't no better than the form that's talking about him right now. And we all can be questioned and scrutinized respectfully. I think he's dumb. And had I seen that video, and then before I saw this post, it would have never made my page. Because now I feel like I was doing false advertisement for you, because you like a chameleon, and a lizard. You switch colors. I don't get it. All right, next topic. Are we through with the COVID stuff? No. We got one more thing, but that church cheering. Let me get a drink of water for this one here. Good Google-a-moo. All right now. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. This is so sad. I'm so sad to report this whole story. Let me see if I can pull up. I think I pulled up a link so that I can talk about this properly. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Y'all need to be praying for this here church in Alabama. This church in Alabama. I'm going to read a little piece of what was in the publication. Well, I supposed to read the post that I made, but if you just tuning in, my helper Ida messed all of that up. Ain't even post what he's supposed to post, but he good at what he do. And I'm really just saying this because of Lou Dessa. That's his mama. And then there's a twin brother, Kelvin, them. I know all their family, Monica and all them. Because they know that I absolutely love their brother. And you know, I honor his work. And I pay him right. You know, I honor him. But I have to fuss at him sometimes. And it don't mean nothing. It's gone. That's why he ain't really saying too much. He be like, this is what Reid do. Because, you know, he love me. But because he ain't do what he's supposed to do, the reason why I can't read this post. And I got to be ghetto and go in my phone. When is the iPhone 12 coming out? I don't like sitting at the 11. Okay, I got to get the 12. 12 and 8 my best numbers. What you saying?
If China's production still is a go, it'll be September.
The iPhone 12 got to come from China?
It always comes from China.
It always came from China. Well, Lord Jesus, we probably ain't going to get no 12 for no time soon. And are they going to sensitize it? They got the sensitizers coming from over there because we be got the corona in our fingers and stuff. All right, here we go. Warrior Creek Missionary Baptist Church. 40 plus folk got the cholera. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Lord help them, help them, help them. Let me tell you what happened. They had a week-long revival. I don't know. In the black church, week-long is 5 days. Some black churches 7. So I don't know which one of these it was. So that when people still have week-long revivals, something like that stopped years ago. But I guess people do it when they got to raise a whole bunch of money and stuff. But you can't get me to go do no 5 nights, nothing. I mean, this is not happening. And that's too much sameness. And now I go from one church to the other church for 5 nights. Now, when I'll be on the road preaching, I would do that or singing. But one spot, I'm not staying in one spot. I'm going to tell you. Actually, I've had to do it like in one of my churches and when I was covering church. Well, actually, the church I started in London. But the other one I was covering, I think I've been there for a while. And the one in St. Martin that I was covering there, I've done that for a while. And I was flying to the one in New Jersey every week for a while. Not going to do that. That's some breakup. But bike the bike. I can do 5 different places. But no, we're not doing nothing for no 5 nights in one spot. Now, Lord, hear me clear. If there's a gig or a job, maybe it's Broadway or stage play, and I got to do the same thing 5 nights straight, I'm willing. So don't get real serious about what I'm saying right now. But I'm not studying it. I'm not studying it. But for the right price, and maybe the audience change out, maybe I can do it. But not the same old thing over and over again. So I don't know if they had one preacher or they had several preachers that was coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. But this back and forward, they narrowed it down and found out. And this is what the statement I want to make about this. They narrowed it down and found out that these 40 plus folk that got the cholera at this here church, that happened at the church. Now let me say this. I said this also in the conversation I was having with the pastor today. Sometimes these articles, they say that the infection happened at this church, but you don't necessarily know if the person got the COVID at the church. They may have got it somewhere else and then brought it and just because they're a member of that church and then somebody else got in the church, they say, oh, it's a breakout that happened in the church. But not necessarily. You don't really know if it happened at the church or just people from different places called it somewhere else, and they happen to be members of the same church. So we have to at least consider that. Did you hear what I said? You get what I'm saying, Nancy? Yeah, I mean, because you don't really know. We can all go to the same church, but what end up happening is we all got it from several places. And so when they find out 4, 5, 6, 10, 29, 30 people at the church got it, it don't necessarily mean they got it there. However, 9 times out of 10, if a COVID-19 positive person come there to your church and somebody else got it, probably it's because that COVID-19 person was at the church. That air conditioner picked it up and blew it out everywhere. That's why I told you guys, make sure you get some thick filters and get isopropyl alcohol. Oh, let me share this. I feel like I already said let me share this before, and I went into another conversation. So let me really share this, because I meant to say this earlier, too. Get y'all some isopropyl alcohol, 70% or more. And if you find somewhere yet, please send it to me. Put the address up there. I need bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of it. If you can send it to me, God bless you very much. In fact, if you send me the alcohol and the receipt and send me some way to transact business with you, whether it preferably Zelle, I will send you the money back. Just send a receipt with it. But I need as much alcohol as possible. And you may need it too, but so you get all you got to get. But if you find some extras, just send it over here to 780 Morosco Drive, Northeast, number 244224, Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. And let me tell you why you got to get this. Because the Ella I know contracted COVID-19 is a very mild case. So if it's a very mild case, that means you only cross paths with the virus for a little piece. And that can happen in takeout, groceries, or anything of that nature you bring into your house. And you put your hands in your face or something before you wash them. Isopropyl alcohol, and I've been telling y'all this from I don't know how long, is your greatest weapon against COVID-19 because it breaks down the virus. Because that virus, it has protein and fat, and it breaks down heat. That's why heat, when it got hot and that virus is in the air, not when it's in you. When it's in the air, it kills. It kills the UV. It kills it quicker. Now, see, because COVID-19 is a cold seasoned virus because it's protein and it's fat. Cold air reinforces that. But hot air, the possibility of it breaking the fat and the protein down. So the isopropyl alcohol, 70% or more, it breaks down the virus. 30 seconds. So when you spray it, see, some of y'all spraying Lysol on your mail, and ain't nothing wrong with that if you're going to quarantine your mail for a day before you touch it. But you can't get your food. Y'all know we hungry. By the time your food get there, you go pick it up, you turn right into the bag. So they get in the window, you stick in there getting a fry. That's how we is. You need some alcohol. I don't leave the house without a spray bottle like I'm traveling with alcohol. The spray mess. And that's how they got that mild case. That's what I believe. So, because they won't even go into church from what I understand. Let's do a line. They won't have no one night stands. Could have been having that, but just didn't tell me. But it sounded like to me that's where they got it from, because they told me they were using Lysol to spray down groceries and to spray down their food when they would go get it. And you need to let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes for it to give it time to deactivate the virus. Because that's Lysol, that's all it can do. And just spraying Lysol on the surface is not good enough. You have to spray it on the surface and rub the surface. So isopropyl alcohol is your best defense. So go get it, please. Go and get it. I don't want to have to bury no LRLs. I don't want to know nothing about nobody sick severely. That thing bothered me. So I need for y'all to do what you supposed to do. That's SPOSC. Do what you supposed to do. Nah. All right, put the church back up there. Lord have mercy, G. This is so sad. It's just so terrible. These poor people, and you got that the old folk is in their fever. This is why it's so important, and I will say this until I'm blue in the face. You know this is gonna be a long time because I'm brown. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah, glory to God. Thank you, Lord. And the Bible says that Jesus, he walked on the water. And then the Bible says that God began to talk to Peter. You can sing, preach, and praise. Praise him behind that mess. Praise him behind that mess. I need to praise him behind that mess. Praise him behind that mess. I need to praise him behind that mess. You can praise him behind the mess. Keep them droplets in from going out. We don't want your praise to be spread. We just need to hear it. And really, we don't need to. He will. He hid them thoughts with your nasty self. Cussing in your head and talking about you holding out, you ain't, because you cussing your head. Speaking of cussing, there was a man, a black man. And I guess somebody got on his last nerve at the church. Oh, you got to play beside me. Got mad at the church, and I guess they was in somebody's business. Listen to what he said. So we're talking about cussing.
Y'all need to quit talking about other folk and start practicing getting your stuff together.
One more time for everybody that might have missed it, cause it was real quick. This was not cussing in his head. This came out his mouth. Play it one more again, please.
Y'all need to quit talking about other folk and start practicing getting your stuff together.
And what's so interesting, I think everybody got surprised because the organist was like, oh, I don't believe that he done said in the pulpit. Then he said, rah. There was a little pause before. It was like he's supposed to back them up. That one of what I call them pressure points. In the sermon when he was supposed to, on the organ. But he didn't. Listen one more again. There was a holy hush that came over the organist.
Y'all need to quit talking about other folk and start practicing getting your stuff together.
Oh my God. He got hijacked by that Leandra Johnson spirit. And he's starting to tell that thing how he felt it in his spirit. He couldn't help himself. And he said a cuss word. Now, this is what I'm going to say. What he said, same like I said about Leandra Johnson. This is what I think about. I want to know who this man is. I think what he said was the absolute truth. And I'm so glad that the message that he was conveying was being conveyed. But if you out there in the streets, I probably would say what he said and the way he said it, though we wish he had said it a different way, was spot on. But he's in the pulpit. Now, for those of you that do not know, in the church, he's standing in the most holy place and got on a sanctified robe. But yet and still, he thought it not robbery to completely cuss, an entire cuss word. I heard the T. He closed that word off. Get your... Oh my God! Oh my God. Look, when I saw this and he said, get your, I said, for those you don't know, that's the daunting. I was totally overwhelmed because usually a pastor, if they use a cuss word in the pulpit, we've added that so many times up here, different people. They're using it with the scripture, in a certain way, just trying to get people to react. But now, dismally, Andrea Johnson, he straight up, entirely cussed. Get your own together. Play it one more time just for the people that may just be tuned to 10 and did not know tonight that we will be airing this cussing, a new cussing pastor. The old cussing pastor, I don't really care too much for him, know him. Y'all already know that. I mean, I don't hate him, but there's something that he did. I had to talk to him on air one day about it. I think he's funny. I think he's hilarious. He may do great work, but the original cussing pastor, For the 2,152 of you watching on YouTube and the 1.2 something thousand you watching over here on Facebook that may not have seen it, and then for the 70, that's our storefront church over there, that location, the Periscope that is watching, I'm going to play this one more again so that you can be clear. Look for the T on the SHI.
Y'all need to quit talking about other folk and start practicing getting your stuff together.
I think it slipped. He said, I think he meant to say, he probably was an LRLer. He probably meant to say, you know how I do it. I just give it the first two letters and I fade it out like I'm being bleeped. But his brought that E and T, just brought it on over there and just nicely rounded out. And then he said, then he's like, oh, I really said the whole word. You can see in his body language, it was like, let me see. Pastor! You ain't right. You slipped. You cussed too much in your personal life and it slipped over there and came out of your face while you was in the pulpit in the holy garbs. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an apostle that has been found or been accused of committing a very horrible crime. I'm going to talk about that. And then when I come back after this break, this is the apostle. Thank you. This helper, I don't know what in the world going on with him tonight. And this is a week after pay raise. I don't understand. This is him. The apostle. Is it John Jerry? What's his name? Or is it Jerry Jones? Apostle Jerry Jones. Because I'm going to talk about that. Then I also got to introduce you to a Christian children's book author that just came out as a same-gender loving. On the platform, we call it Junior Peppermint, Straight Bats, Double Dippers. But I'm fading that out because I realize that it could be offensive to people. But I can say that ping tip to ping tip to ping tip. We're gonna talk about that because his wife is supporting him. It's so nice. It's so nice. Then also this other pastor that beat down this old woman. And then I'm going to round off the show. I ain't going to do that. Round off the show talking about the Sou-Sus. You're going to find out whether it's for your blessing or for your burning. But first, Sherry Murray has something that I want you guys to participate in. I think it's going to bless you. I'll be right back. Click like, click share. Take a moment to support the platform while we're on commercial break.
Creative believer with purpose. Hi, Sherry Murray, a 30-year professional in TV and film, emotional intelligence life coach. I want to reveal just how your character is called to adventure. But here is the plot twist. Your mental intelligence IQ may not be nearly as important as your emotional intelligence. No one really cares how smart you are if you cannot get along with people. But your emotions block you. You're unaware of how being creative fluctuates your mood. You allow your feelings to hijack your faith. You feel out of alignment with your purpose, which often leads to frustration, miscommunication, mistreating people, winding you up to feel like giving up. It doesn't have to be this way. Let Creative Soul Spiritual EQ be your guide to less frustration and empowered to persevere in your character's call to adventure. Visit CreativeSoulSpiritualEQ.com today.
CreativeSoulSpiritualEQ.com. I want you guys to open up your heart and your mind to the importance of taking care of your spirit. Really, during the years of this pandemic that we're going to be with it, and these years of transition, this is the reason why I asked you guys to, 8 is the number of new beginning, these 3 years of the new beginning of the transition. You really need to be taking time and spending your time in places that really will benefit you spiritually. This show is going to do that. Your prayer life is just as important as your left life. Your left life is just as important as your prayer life. So I provide you laughter here. At the same time, I drop nuggets all the time. And it's going to always have some sense of prophetic in the midst of whatever is going on. And like I said, every week we have the prayer thing. And over there in Patreon, we do all sorts of things, meditation stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on. If you are a member of the MBN Network, which is basically a ministry, and this is the entertainment leg of it, you need to be watching Larry Live. You need to be in Patreon, aside from your Taruma, your type. If you're not watching the platform and you're calling me your spiritual leader or whatever, because some people look at me as that, I don't care what none of y'all think. So you need to be watching. Put it in your ear while you're working, because most of you at home anyway. So just save and archive the things. You miss something, you gotta watch it, because you don't know what you're missing. And this is what I believe. If you're gonna be spiritually well, not only will you have a paper Bible on one hand, but you also need to have, I forgot who said that, a newspaper. Of course, we don't do newspaper much now. But you need to know what's happening in our world so that you can at least have the right kind of information that you need. Because spirituality, at the core of spirituality, is humanity. And you have to know what's happening with all humans round about the world. Marry that to your spirituality and get educated. It's extremely important, and know what's going on in your world. All right. So Creative Soul Spiritual EQ, that is something that you can do to invest in your soul and in your spirit right now. We just ran that advertisement. Also, Bishop Bernard Jordan, Zoe Ministries. This man is who I nickname him America's Black Prophet. He is having 24 hours of the day is nothing but teaching, prayer, and then opportunities to give, and then they prophesy to you. So you can call in at any given time. If you ain't got nothing to do, ain't nothing to watch on TV, 515-604-9266. Now, we've done 8 interviews with him, and by the end of the month, we're supposed to do, well, I don't know if it's going to happen before the end of the month. It may happen Thursday. We're supposed to do updates a few times a month. There's a book he wrote called Written Judgments. It's on bishopjordan.com. Go read it. It's telling us about everything that is happening in the future. It was written in the 80s, last print, in the 90s, last edit. Go get that book, sign up for, I think it's like $10. So invest in your heart, your mind, your brain. I just ordered 2 books today. I'm going to be thumbing through on top of everything else I got going on. This is the time. Isaiah 26:20. He said, while this indignation, this pandemic is passing over. It's passing over. It's passing over. Y'all put the blood on your doorpost. Let this thing pass over. While it's overpassing, hide yourself. Shut the doors of your house. Go up in there. What you supposed to be doing inside? You're supposed to be re-strategizing, recommitting to God, recovering from what you have been tied up in prior. You may be getting a whole new vision for your life, for your business, for your relationship, finding your prophet, your mentor, your therapist. Just really experiencing a mental and a spirit overhaul. This is the time for that. While you're able to work from home, some people still have to go out. So those that still have to go out, you're going to have even more discipline. So when you're home, you're going to want to take your hair down and watch TV and whatever. But that ain't what you need to be doing. You get out of that whole rhythm and get into another rhythm for the next 3 years. We're not talking 3 months. I don't care what they say about this car. I'm talking about the spiritual applications. 2020, 21, 22, your hips is supposed to be getting back in line. Go back to your roots and get your whole mess together. Get ready for the launch forward. Every industry is going to be totally different after this is over, even our government. And so there's going to be new opportunities. I'm telling you, new jobs. They're going to be looking for different kind of people. And you need to be taking this time, using these 3 years to reconnect. That's why I say whenever y'all support this platform, doing it in the 8s. 8's the number new beginning, calls the 220, 221, and 222. By this time in the year 2023, our world is not going to look the same anymore. We're going to be using different terminology. There are going to be different ways things getting done, and you don't need to be left behind. So if you need to go to school and learn how to tingle tangle on top of a computer, go do it now. You're going to be left behind. Should have been done this. I got one person, a mentor, is also a friend. I told that boy years ago, I don't like doing technology, not computers. Now they left behind. They got to learn how to, didn't even know what Zoom was. He's talking about, well, that's what the noise my car made. No, dummy! It's a whole app. Your car don't say no Zoom, no way. That's just a cartoon. Jesus, lamb. All right. Lord, let me talk about this real quick. I done got long-winded tonight. This is a long service. Chip! Stop your mess. You better stop. You can get a whooping. This is a whole child. I didn't even know I was going into this, and I love him so much. He's so cute. I'm going to post on my personal page some pictures of him. He's just so cute. Chip is so cute. We hadn't since he was 9 weeks old, but he needs a whooping sometime because he don't know how to sit down and hush his fuss and want to play all the darn time in the middle of the night. Chip, go to bed. Yeah? You see? Hush your fuss. Hush! They hear you barking on the World Wide Web. You was not a part of LarryReidLive. Hush your fuss. All right, let me talk about this here young man, the young white man. What's his name? Matthew Paul Turner. Is that his name? Yeah. Matthew Paul Turner. Somebody sent this to me. His wife, I think they're somehow in a connection with some who's who in the industry. And so this is how this story ended up getting to me. Now, what ended up happening, he done a post last week. He said he done the post, and then he dropped to his knee and cried. Him and his wife had a conversation. I think her name is Jessica. Had a conversation about him deciding or making a decision or discovering that he is gay. And as a result, he felt that he needed to put it out publicly. And because he also announced that they will be divorcing and going their separate ways. And that she's in full support and however. I made the post. Oh, Lord have mercy. I hate to have to be so ghetto. Because he did not do what he's supposed to do. But let me go back to the post and tell you what I said in the post. I'm going to finish my commentary and going on to the next thing. I said Matthew Paul Turner, a noted children's Christian writer, has used social media to announce that he is in fact gay. And as a result, will be divorcing from his wife. As I continue to do this job, this is what I was about to say anyway. As I continue to do this job of reporting the news, I realize that all have to come out to themselves. Now, let me explain this. I'm not just talking about gay people, same gender loving people. We all have to come out. And I would say something, but y'all can go crazy with it in those comments. Because I wrote a blog, and the name of the blog is We Are All Gay. I'm not saying all of us are same gender loving, but all of us are uniquely different. And some of us, more so than others, are misfits. But we really all are misfits. Not even our fingerprints are the same. So the statement that I made that we all have to come out, I'm saying this. We all have to have that moment and that day that we tell ourselves the truth. And the reality is, because we're so hijacked, I mean, from the titty all the way up until whatever age you are, it's like been hijacked and separated from yourself. And you're going to have either that day or many moments. I didn't mean to say titty. I meant to say chest meat. Sorry, that's what I say here. Where you're going to have to say, okay, this is what's wrong with me, or this is what needs to be fixed, or this is my truth. And it may not be something that needs to be fixed or something that needs to be edited or disregarded altogether. But we all have to have that moment. And when you have that moment, the most important part of that moment is what you tell yourself. Secondly, what you tell those around you. Because, first of all, let me say this. As it relates to sexuality, it ain't nobody's business. That's between you and whoever needs to know. And that's a need to know basis. And I go on to say in this post that it's really going to get to where this is not even newsworthy anymore, because we're in 2020 and we know folk is different now, all different types and kinds of different. And it ain't really our concern about each other's differences, meaning our concern. I think our concern with each other should be where we are the same. And then we learn to sit with each other and understand each other's differences, because those differences a lot of times can make up who that person is. And in this sense, he felt as though he needed to come out and tell all of us who don't care. And I hope that doesn't sound negative. But there was some reason that he felt as though he needed to do that. And the reality is, and this has been my experience, I have had years of counseling other people, and I've been to therapy and counseling myself, and just paying attention in life. This is what I think. I really don't think the coming out thing and being vocal about personal things, a lot of times it doesn't help you. It may for you be a starting point of dealing with a thing or confronting or facing a thing, but it doesn't help you. A lot of times being vocal about what is private can now add to all of the work that you have to do on this journey of your truth, or whatever it is that you're facing now or haven't faced prior or not dealt with prior, unfinished business. I don't think this is a good practice. I just don't think it's a good practice. That's just what I think. And that's really the same thing. And hats off to you. God bless you as you are doing what you're doing. You already know we had a conversation. I want to interview you, but you say you're not ready right now, so fine. But I don't know why in the whole hell and the heaven you post something online and then got the opportunity to talk to over 200,000 people on my platform, and this ain't the time. Dumb with 3 B's. But God bless you and we love it. And also in this post I said that the real MVP and the real story. Now when I interview him, if it happens, I really want to interview that wife, because that's rare. This woman 100% support her husband. We done seen don't know how many men that enjoy the peen tip action, or either bread basket, whatever they decide. We done seen it don't know how many times, and at this point, it's all right. Let me explain what I'm saying for those people. I'm not tearing nothing out of the Bible. This is not a Bible conversation. What I'm about to say right here. We don't care about who you sleep with and what you like. At this point, it's like that's between you and whoever you is participating in sex activities with. But we don't care. But that wife, that's rare, really rare, how she's dealing with this. I think she's a phenomenal woman. And she's interesting to me. And I want to talk to her. And I think how she processed it or processing it along with kids, I think we all, especially women that are married or people that may be in a situation, can learn from it. So I really want to talk to her. And that's really the reason why I posted about it and I wanted to discuss it tonight. All right, next topic. While we're talking about stuff that I feel like that sometimes we should not bring to the light because I don't know what is going to help, it's this story about this apostle. Apostle Jerry Jones. Now let me tell you about him because I got to read it from my phone because you already know my helper I didn't do what he's supposed to do. So let me find this right through him. Okay, it says Apostle Jerry Jones was charged with sexually abusing 3 minors, his 5 and 6-year-old niece. I think that's the age, but they're 3 of them, I think, unless I made a typo, including 2 nieces. Oh, so it's 3 minors and the 2 nieces were 5 and 6. The 2 nieces came forward years after the alleged abuse took place. He turned himself over to the Chicago police Friday and was charged with 3 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Now, I found out about this 2 months ago. I sent word, because a lot of you don't know I do this kind of work. It was already online because the victims were speaking out. And so I sent where I found out who was connected to. I sent where it said, if he wants to talk about it on my platform, I would interview him. I couldn't find a way of getting in contact with the victims. They never reached out to me. But this happened many years ago. The victims now are like mid-30s. So my question was then, and it still is today, what is it? And I'm so glad I can ask this question because I was sexually abused. And then later on in life, I was actually raped. Now, I've talked about this in Patreon. I probably talked about this. I remember TS asked me on her show, TS Medicine, on her show, and I think I mentioned some other places, but I've said it on my platform in my life in my churches for years. So I can say what I'm saying, and I feel as though, let me say that, I feel like I can talk on this because I've experienced it, and I've done it wrong. I know y'all gonna get upset, but let me finish saying what I'm saying. You 30-something odd years old. This man is 70-something years old. And at 5 and 6 years old, he allegedly took advantage of you and touched you wrong when I can't remember, the aunt, I think he began to date the aunt and they would go over there to the house or something like this many years ago. And something happened. So my question is, same question I had with the white man. What is it that you want? I would like to think that for you bringing this out, that you want resolve. And probably you want resolve on the inside. Well, let me say this to them and to anybody else that has been the victim of a sexual predator or molestation or some sexual event when you were a minor. Let me say this to you. I'm just going to offer this. Outing someone should not be, is not your worry. Meaning, if okay, I'm going to talk about myself. I was violated. I don't think it was my responsibility to be concerned about what would happen if I began to tell my story because these people were still alive. Now, today, 2 of them are dead. But this happened about 6 of my family members, male family members. And I don't think that the repercussion of me telling my truth to them, listen to my words, should be my concern. But I should be concerned about all of the moving parts if I began to tell my story in a public way. And let me tell you why I say this, because of what I did. I did it wrong. And I'm calling it wrong. You may not call it wrong. But what I began to do, because I was working through it, there's a confusion that happens whenever you are taken advantage of as a child. Now, a lot of you probably had sex with a family member or a friend or somebody you were close to, and both of y'all knew what y'all was doing. Then later on in life, like, God, I didn't like that. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe they took advantage of me, or I took advantage of them. But the reality is it was just a situation. But I'm talking about those of us who were single digits years old and people done stuff to us, or to our bodies rather. And as a result, we suffered because of what happened to our bodies, and it carried on in our life. Now, I began to work through some stuff, and I had just got married to Lisa, and she's in the chat. She'll remember this. And what I did, I began to discuss things with her, with people that was around me, and I went and told my parents. Now, this was serious because it's a family member, MERS. But I think the one I focused on was a particular one, is loved in the family. A terribly nice guy. And the reality is what he did to me was not painful. I wasn't sodomized. It wasn't painful. It was emotional, and it felt like protection. It felt like we were friends, although he was much older. It was weird, but I just knew that it was not supposed to happen, although he didn't do anything bad to me, meaning injurious physically. Not on purpose. Let me say it like that. Not on purpose. And I began to talk too much. Y'all know I talk. I can hold a secret till Jesus come now, but in my job, I'm a talker. And what I didn't survey is those that was listening to my story and how they would respond. And they began to chat, and it became an issue. Now, this guy had family, kids, and stuff. And so when my mom went to ask them, Larry said, did this happen? Did you do this? Probably one side of here was thinking, my mama will shoot you. That's number one. Yes, Ethelene Reid carries a gun, she will shoot you. That's the original Medea. But the second was probably because it was, he was saying, no, I did not harm him, or meaning my purpose was not to harm him. And I think that's what he said no to. And that's a lie, because he did do something. But I understood, not then, I understood later on why he lied. So let me tell you what I did. After I'd done all that and it caused a big ruckus in the family, nothing resolved. Probably people were hurt, probably his children, I don't know. But eventually I got to a space, I think it was in 2012. In 2012, I got to a space where I'm like, I need to talk to them and find. I think I had a dream or something. I said, let me talk to them and find out what happened. What was that? Because I carried it all these years. But it looked like to me, he got married and had children, went on about his business. I'm married now and I have children. But what was all of that? Because I sort of just packed it away. So then I called him. I think that's what happened. Well, I sent word and he called me. And in that conversation, I found out that he was violated for years. And his violation was not like what he did to me. It was assault. It was horrendous, which is the reason why that what he did to me was more caring and more kind, because he didn't want to do what was done to him. But he was in that pattern. I got that, and I understood that because of what happened in my life that I'm not speaking right now. I'm going to tell y'all later on. This is why you got to make sure you continue to follow the platform, because we got a whole lot of things in works, and some stuff going to be on your TV. But anyway, looking back on that experience on a personal level, I realized something. Because if I didn't have God and a prayer life and some other stuff in my head and some knowledge, that could have sent me on a downward spiral, possibly in drugs or just having a whole lot of sexual partners, which that did end up happening, but that was as a result of what I used to medicate myself with. I'm not going to put that blame there because I did it myself. And I knew what I was doing. But I don't think, and my advice to all of you that have been abused is to go to a therapist. That's my advice. And if that therapist advised you to have a conversation with either your spouse or your parents, bring them in to do that with that third party. Sort of like what Iyanla Vanzant does, but she's a coach. Bring that party that violated you into that. So because otherwise, I'm telling you, it almost turns into another episode in the abuse or the harm or the molestation that you experience. And Act 2 can go either way for you. It could be the beginning of a journey of confronting certain things and telling the truth to yourself and who it matters, or it can open up a wound. And when you pull back a wound, man, an old wound has a way of taking every wrong that has ever happened in your life and you start putting it on that one situation, putting it on, projecting it on certain people and things. And that's why you need to go to a therapist. And that's what I should have done, but I went later on. But that's what I should have done. But when I had that conversation with him, that started the beginning of me healing in a way I thought I had already healed. And it happened like this. It was not beginning of a certain journey of healing that happened many years later. It was that self-same year. It was clear. Poured out of me and clear. So these 30-something odd old women that were touched at 5 or 6, because it was not 6, and this apostle says that he did not do it. Let me make sure put it out there. He said that did not happen. It's not even true. Of course, he would deny it, even if it was the truth. Deny. How they gonna prove it? Deny. The worst part would be us talking about it. Deny. That's the smart thing to do if you're trying to get off on something, because there ain't no proof. So I get that. But he went and turned his own self in. He probably heard about what was going to be done, so he just went and got it over with. But I think they paid $50,000 and he won't right out. So, but my concern, I have a little concern because I love the church and pastors and preachers of how this may affect him. He's old. But my main concern are the alleged victims and their wellness. This is not going to, 9 times out of 10, I don't think, my opinion, that this is going to help you in your process of healing. You could have brought this up, with a couple of mediators or a mediator or a counselor and confronted this. I don't really know. And maybe I am interpreting this like a dude and like a man. And I don't know, maybe I am, but this is what I think. And this is my job of commentary. And so maybe there's something I don't see, and that's okay. It don't make me wrong. It doesn't make me Larry Reid, and I'm a dude. I don't know every darn thing. I just don't, I don't think this is going to help you in your healing process. Get your whole hand to a therapist and deal with this. Forgive this man and let this go and heal from it. I'm not saying that he should not suffer whatever he need to suffer if he did that to you. That's not what I'm saying. But your concern as the person that was victimized, allegedly, do your work. Don't let the media and this and whatever, all of the stuff surrounding this become episode 2. And this time you end up victimizing yourself and then blaming him. It ain't his fault at that point. You got to do the work of healing, learning, healing, and then get to the let go. All right, next person. Another pastor. Now, you know you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because this ain't like the last pastor. We saw you do this. We saw you. We saw you. Cheering. You gotta cut them black things off. Let me. This young man, okay, it's fine. Leave it like it is. This young man is a pastor, a whole pastor. Let me read what I said about him now. He's a whole pastor. These pastors cussing and allegedly taking advantage of 5 and 6 year olds and dragging folk to church. They got COVID-19. 1 minute saying to do it at the home, next minute the media and the digital space, the devil. Y'all is like the Black America's prophet said, 2020 is showing us the leaders that are not leading us into the future. Let me tell you what this man done did. He popped off. I think his name was Apostle Keith Lamar Robinson. That's him right there. He tired. He got to be tired and frustrated. I don't know if it's COVID-19, but you don't pop off like this on a woman, let alone an older, elderly woman. Man, what you doing? Look what he did to this woman. Look right here. Okay, you got the woman right there in the lace. That's his wife. And I guess she's talking to the woman that been giving them some problems. And I don't know, he walked up and he seen it. He come over there and says and pulled her arm away from his wife. And then he said, you know what? She snatched from him. I'm tired of you, old woman. And then little light kick. And went to jump on her. At that moment, he had his mind. So the wife pulls him off. And then somebody else pulled the pastor off. And the wife crawls away. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. Oh my God. You know, by this time, the older woman is getting up. You know, she walks over there, the first lady, then she pushed the woman. Y'all, this is church 2020. 2020. And she naked up under that lace. What she got on up under that? She not dressed proper. It's not right. This a whole mess. This couple lightweight beat up this old woman. Now she got a fractured collarbone. But then I heard somebody say she got pins in her legs and stuff. Now, the possibility is true. Because women, their bones go funny when they get old. They get real brittle. They shrink up. They get shorter. All sorts of stuff happen to the women. So that very well could happen. But I think the 68-year-old woman about to get her some new teeth, some new breast, and she's going to tap into that church's insurance, the lawyer is, and tap into the pastor's insurance. And she's going to live the last leg of her life, her returning years. You know, the first 30 years is your learning years. Second 30 years is your earning years. And your last 30 years, the rest of your life, is your returning years. She's going to live her returning years probably, depends on if these places are insured, probably with millions of dollars. But if they're not insured, I don't know how this is going to work out. Because now she got 159 different things wrong with her. And I would do the same thing. I ain't going to sit here and make like I wouldn't. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this here. You listen to me. Had you done that to me, I don't care if they had it on. I'm going to tell you how that video would have went. The moment he pushed me up that thing, I would have screamed like a first lady. Ah! I would have fell down, peed just a little bit, squirt out a little bit of yabba dabba do, stick my finger in it, write my name and call for my mama. Mama, where it's still that Nutella still on my fingertip. Mama, they're like, what's going on here? And I would be getting paid for the rest of my life. Ain't nobody schooled this woman. Yeah, you should have peed on yourself. Stuck your hand in your own yabba dabba doo doo. Squat a little bit and wrote on that floor. And said, Mama, Mama. Everybody would have thought you were crazy. You would be paid for the rest of your life. You were acting like a G. Play that one more time, bring it over. She was acting like a G. That old woman got some, I don't know what she had that morning. She had multivitamin. Look at her. She is and she's short. Look at her. She pulled back. Nigga, I don't care. Oh, excuse me. I can't say that word no more. What you talking about? Then he pushed her against the wall. Now that took the air out of her. Oh, this is not funny. That took the air out of her. And then the wife was shocked that she fell down. She bounced. She got a big old bread basket. A bread basket is full of bread. That's Wonder Bread. And then she come over there. She hit the woman. Now, how come the first lady ain't got no charges? And then pushed her. And then she turned around. See, grandma is bow-leg. See, old bow-leg woman. They got that lip, and they ain't that shit. If she was just 20 or 100 years younger, she would beat both of them by herself. She showed with her. She picked up red shoes. She got red shoes, a red pocketbook. Picked up her teeth, and she said, "I'm getting up out of here." Got all her peppermint. Oh, Lord have mercy. That one that interesting. That was. I feel like I've been to Fight Club. My God. All right. Let's talk about this here. Y'all see this here? And I put some other pictures in there. It's in the email. Another picture, the other one. Yeah, put that one. Hey, do the $100 one. The $100 one. Let me tell y'all about this Sou-Sou thing. Yeah, it's $100. You see the 100 real right there? Pour that over. All right. Now I'm going to tell y'all this. Sou-Sou. Now, the Sou-Sou is actually called. Now I went and questioned some Jamaicans so that I can get some more knowledge on this because I wanted to know where all of this come from. And the reality is, from what I was told, that this come out of Egypt, spread to Africa, picked up West Africans, Caribbeans. Let me tell you what it is. It's a way for, it's really like a social banking and savings. And a lot of people feel as though that the banking system has actually borrowed on some level from this that was began by a community that wasn't white and in power. And the black community has actually used this to advance each other. Let me explain. The original name for this, according to someone that I talked to, is called partner. But then there are other names, Underground Railroad. It's also called Sou-Sou. It's called the money blessing or the money blessing loom. There's so many different things that it is called. So much so and so popular. This thing is thousands of years old. And it's so popular that there actually is an app that you can use to help navigate and manage these different looms or flowers. So what ends up happening is, now people do it for different prices. You put in $100 with a group who have their own flower or their own team. Now, let me say this. Originally, this is something that was done one time for huge purchases, like for black people or brown people or people who could not fool up with the banks to get money to buy a house, send somebody to college, to start a business. This is what this has been used for. And it's really originally designed for you to cash out one time. And now let me say that again. It's something that you get in, cash out, and go on about your way. But then you maybe you got a plan to do something else, and you get in and you cash out again. But the way that it is supposed to be done and the rules for it, what we are seeing online, what people doing with these cash apps and different stuff, some of those, I'm going to call them money looms, are scams. I'm going to just say it like it is. And let me tell you why it's a scam. Because you have people that do not operate in integrity and do not operate in honor and do not do what they're supposed to do. So they go in to get, knowing that somebody at the bottom is going to fall out. So you put in $100. So this is you right here. And then all these other people, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 9 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, it's 8. 8 people. Lord, I guess got a taste for Chinese food. Have I got a salad? I need to eat a salad so I can stop this. Oh, good. Okay. They say I got a salad, so I'm going to eat the salad. So I eat Chinese tomorrow, midday. All right. So anyway, that's 8 people. 8 people put in $100. Now, these 8 people, according to the way that they're doing it on the internet now, every person put $100 in and find one person or 2 people who will do the same thing. The moment they find somebody, then they move up to the next slot, closer to the 800. And then that person that come in finds somebody else to get 800. And then each person that makes it to the middle gets $100 from everybody. And so their $800 has turned, their $100 has now turned into $800. What's happening is people are walking away with the $800 and getting out of the flour or the loom. But what they are supposed to do, if they're going to walk away, they're supposed, that same original $100, they're supposed to leave it in the flour or in the loom and just take their $700. And it comes from the idea of the partner. You got 13 people who all give $100, and you give $100 into the loom, all these 13 people, on the 21st of every month. And all 13 people giving $100 on the 21st of every month means that all 13 people after a period of 13 months will have received a $1,300 payout. Now, some people do the pay-ins. You get in it at $20,000. Even some of the celebrities are doing it. You get in at $30,000. Put your $30,000 in. Now, you find somebody else is going to do $30,000. And this is how it works. So when everybody's operating in integrity, because they got different ways they do this, and they got the people, they call it different things. When everybody's operating in integrity and everybody doing what they're supposed to do, this could be something that can work. Let me say that one more time. It can be something that can work. I want to make sure that I say this again. It can be something that can work. But what y'all got out there on this intranet, what I be seeing, I know y'all probably went scraped up that $100 to put inside of this here thing. As soon as you get your money, you gone, and you ain't gonna put that $100 back in there, you know, so the person that came in with you, they can have their $1,300 a day or whatever date it is, and that becomes a pyramid Ponzi scam. And this what just kills me with this is, why are you going? Like I said at the beginning, this is a friends and family banking system and saving system. Why you gonna get some random Tom and some random Jane, some regular Billy, some regular Sally that you don't even know, and then tomorrow, okay, let's get this quick money. This thing is built on integrity and honor. That is not going to work. I wouldn't do that. It's really for people that know each other, that's a part of a community. In fact, many Native Americans use this. I've heard this from some Native Americans that I know. They do it on a reservation all the time. I know some black business owners that have done this to make purchases because you and I both know that this melanin don't get them loans with the banks. They have a certain number that they give to the Mexicans, a certain number they give to the African Americans, and once they meet that quota, don't nobody else get no loans for the rest of the year. and that's just it. They do that just so they can buy by them laws, But if it's done proper and done with people it can work. But if you don't know these folks, it's dumb with 3 B's. It's dumb to do. And don't make no sense. Don't do this with nobody you don't know and you cannot trust. Do not do it. You are participating in what is likely a Ponzi scheme, a scam, a pyramid scheme. And you're going to be out of whatever money you put in is going to be gone. Money hard to come by, a whole $100. Well, I'm just going to do the 100, 200, or 500. I can afford to just miss it. Okay, I can't. No. I'm doing the teruma. I'm doing the tithe. I'm sowing seeds. I'm giving to the poor and to the stranger. I'm saving for my retirement. I'm saving for my spiritual pilgrimage. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about because you're not in Patreon. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm investing in some houses. I'm buying some stock. Oh, patrons, there's a stock that I got to tell you guys about that you need to get your Robinhood app and go ahead and buy it now. I bought it last week, forgot to tell y'all, and it done triple. And it's something connected to the technology of the future. I'll tell y'all about that in Patreon. I may do it. Okay, I can do it this week sometime. I got to take my kids one more place tomorrow. For the summer. I took them to that zoo thing. And I'm taking them one place tomorrow. Okay, so I'll tell y'all about that sometime this week. Remind me that, Nancy. God be forgotten. And I won't be told no lie. All right. So if you don't know this, here's another one, $400 one. Show the $400 one. There's and because I got 159. Oh no, this the $500 one. I got invited to this one as well. Okay, you get $500. Then in a few weeks, you're gonna have $4,000. But every person that called me that told me about it, they didn't say anything to me about the money I invested in, keeping it into the money. I'm gonna keep it into the loom. So that's a red flag for me, because what's gonna happen to the person at the bottom? And I cannot, in good faith, I can't put. In good conscience, rather. I cannot participate in that. Because I know, although I may walk away with $40,000, $50,000, somebody told me they're going to get $80,000. I can't do that knowing somebody going to be out of whatever they invested. No. That's a price too high for me to pay, because I got to sleep at night. All right, this is my commentary and everything. Now, 833-LRL-Live. Don't y'all go nowhere. Before you go anywhere, make sure you hit that Cash App. There are all sorts of ways that you can support, and please do it in the 8s. And I also want to, invite those of you that are watching to become a part of Patreon. And remember, you'll be able to get the book. What book? It's the book, Let the Church Say Change. So you'll be able to get that book, but you got to scroll down there and find it. I can't be inboxing y'all no more because too many people. So y'all have to tell each other and let people know about it. Somebody said the loom, the Sou-Sou was pretty, the picture of it. Okay, then. Yeah, so make sure you guys do that. I want to hear what you got to say about everything that we discussed. Tell me what you think. 833-LRL-Live. You got 1 minute. When you scroll down, once you get into Patreon, scroll down. When you see this, up under there, tell you what site to go to and the code to put in to make sure you get your free download, PDF and audio, because I'm going to be talking about it in there. Did you enjoy the show? If you did, them 8s, 888 or 2888, whatever you want to do, but make sure it's in the 8s. And go to the prayer line from Sunday. Let me tell you, before I got on the prayer line on Sunday, I had a dream, and it went with what we were discussing. So I'm gonna put the link in there. I'm gonna put the link in there so that you can text Reformation to 33222, so you get a text before it starts. Now I want you to go back and listen to what transpired on Sunday. And like I said, if you are a member of the MBM network, or you are a patron, or you just watch all the time, I want to encourage you to use these shows and what happens in Patreon, use them as moments for you, not just to laugh, but to learn as well. And you have got to be a good steward of the conversation that we're having on this platform, meaning use it like it's homework. Listen to the show. I know they long, but darn, it took you forever to get in whatever you in that you need to be trying to get out of, or it takes a while to get educated. And I think the conversation that we're having, we're bouncing around opinions and points of views, and we're all learning from each other's lens. I got an email from an LRL, but it's long as heck. He said, I really respect your voice and opinion, but I think that you are wrong about a couple of things. And this is something I always say. It ain't nothing wrong with you saying that. It don't offend me. But if I was somebody I did not know, I never tell somebody that they are wrong. I'm not so easily, just because what they say does not fit with what I believe. I don't say nobody wrong unless they're doing something that is harming themselves or others. I think that's wrong. I don't care what religion you are, what you believe. If you're harming somebody, no, I'm going to raise some questions over that. But your opinion, I don't think will be wrong. I think I've talked to this person a few times, so that doesn't even bother me. I think that the reason that he shared, the white dude, shared that he was gay or had to share was for his future. So I didn't even discuss that. And I think that is true. I actually think that he came public with it, and it has something to do with him being a Christian author. I can't sit here and read the rest of this, but that lets you know I do read you guys' emails when you send them. If I don't get back with you, it's because I read it and I went on to the next story. But I read it. Sometimes I don't give a reply. I don't have the time to reply to all of them, but I engage with you guys, and thank you for your support. All right, let's open up the line, see what you got to say. Lord Jesus, a whole bunch of y'all. Caller in 3694. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute. I'm sorry. I didn't have the volume pulled up, so they heard you, but I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Reginald.
What's up, Reggie?
How you doing, Mom?
I'm doing good.
I'm a semi-expert on these blues. I got in early. I cashed out a nice little piece of chain. I lost some of it back. I will say they're not for everybody. There are a whole lot of scammers launching probably as we speak. So I advise my sister and my niece not to do it unless you're prepared to lose your money, because eventually all of them are going to get oversaturated and they're going to stall. And sometimes they're jumping, I hop up and open up another one and make money off that. And I never been a gambler, but I see how gamblers get caught up, because I had said I'm going to quit playing, and then my friend sent me a new one. I said, okay, one more time. So I see how the gamblers lose their money. But, I made a nice little lick early, and I'm playing with house money. That's the way I look at it. Now, there are some rules, Mr. Larry, One in particular is $5,000 buy-in. You get paid $40,000, and they have moved almost $2 million. But that being said, on the back end, some people are gonna lose their $5,000.
Yeah.
So you gotta be cautious. And one more thing, as far as the family and friends, I know in Jamaica that when it was their time to get paid off the partner, the person who was holding the money beat them out of their money. So you can't even really count on your family to do you right. But I would tell people don't do it unless you're prepared to lose your money.
Wow. Okay. All right. I hear
So
that.
it's money being made, though, Mr. Larry. Money being made. And I did fine when I got paid.
Oh, you did? You show better.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Have a good night.
All right. Okay, so they're telling me that something is up with the sound. Did you go check it, Kendall? You taking what the comments in? How you listening to it? Okay, so y'all can't hear? Oh, let me check something, Kendall. I bet y'all know what it is. Hand me the remote. I think I know what it is. Can you move a little bit quick, being that we on live air? Let me see. Let me see if I can fix this right quick. Well, where is it I hit? Oh, right here where it says more. No, that ain't it. I just done this the other day. I don't want to do this and the sound is bad. Oh, preferences. All right. No, that's right. And y'all can't y'all can't hear it all. So y'all didn't hear the conversation I had with him at all?
They sound like a robot.
Y'all let me know. We can hear you read. We can't hear the caller. Let me know because I don't want to do this. We can't hear you. It's the caller. We had to change something on the audio because something went out. It was a strain, but we heard him. Okay. I don't like that. Let me see. Well, we're gonna try another one. I might have to nigga rig right quick. All right, I'm gonna try another one right quick. Caller ending in 5084. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey Larry, I'm from the DMV. I wanted to comment on the pastor who came out gay. I know that some people think like he didn't have to say that, nobody cares, but you got to understand, and I know you understand, had he not come out and got caught in the middle of something, then you would have to talk about that. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. So from his standpoint of view, it could have been that he was covering himself. Because now had he been caught in the act later on, you would have had to take that story and said, y'all, let me tell you what happened. So the fact that he kind of got ahead of the story is kind of responsible. I'm not saying people have to agree with what he's doing, but I understand why he did it, because people are messy. And secondly, Larry, you slipping. You slipping. Because you know good and well you should have had that older lady from that fight on the phone this evening because we want to know what happened.
I couldn't find her. I couldn't find her. If I could, she probably, let me tell you, she probably is so focused on getting that check that she don't want to say nothing to nobody to mess with it. But if you're listening and you know her, give me her name. And although she may not come on, she may well talk to me that I can come back and share. But you know, the way that I always end up with people on the phone from these situations, they contact me or either I find them and we hook up. But sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Well, listen, I want you to have an LRLer outside the courthouse as soon as she get her settlement so we can know what happened.
Okay. All right, somebody say, I'm going to find her for you. All right, I'm going to hold you to it.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one, Larry.
All right, you too. All right, I got it nigga rid. And y'all tell me, can y'all hear this caller and you sound great? It was the last caller. Now, I got a nigga rigged, the little piece. I'm going to have to call, what's the name over here to figure this out. All right. Somebody said the lady probably in the hospital. She might be. All right, next caller. Caller ended in 8238. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hey, Larry, this is P from California.
Hey there.
And I wanted to say about, so when it comes to child sexual abuse, molestation, so forth, it's personal.
Yeah.
And I have to say to you that I don't believe that you did anything wrong. I believe that, first of all, a child can't consent to anything. And so you responded in the way that was best for you. And I just don't, I to some degree, I feel like because of what happened and because you were a child, you, to some degree, sounds like you're still protecting that individual. And whether you are, whether you feel like you are, or whether you're not, I just, it comes across as if there's something that needs to be worked on there. And I'm praying with you on that because you're amazing and you're phenomenal. But you did nothing wrong. Imagine if it were your children. Imagine how many children you may have been protecting by coming forward. And that's the same thing that some of those individuals may have been doing, was protecting other children. People do come to things in their own time. I've experienced this as well. People come to these things in their own time. And so however you did it is the way you needed to do it at that time. You're not wrong. You weren't wrong. It was not wrong. You went about it in the way that was best for you at that time. And you may have prevented, whether you believe it or not, because it's his family and it's so much more enmeshed. Because that family dynamic, as you've discussed, you know, it's layered and a lot. And so I'm just saying that you don't know, because you could have protected his children. You could have protected his grandchildren. You just don't know. And so the way it came out, you know, people may have clammed up, but we don't know. And I'm not going to go there. I just want you to know that. And just as you've discussed the anger that you've had growing up and the fighting and the promiscuity and the different things. And I really feel for you deeply. And the work that you're doing is obviously a direct result of that care and protection and so forth. And so I just grieve as I listen, because there's so much there. And I'm praying for you. And I think you're amazing. And I love what you do. It's phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much for supporting the platform and listening to me. You know, this is the great part of the show, because we get to have conversation. And I am not the type of person that just reject what somebody's saying. Maybe I thought about that. I thought about and I don't know if I said that me doing what I done was wrong. I think I said I'm gonna call it wrong, but I don't know if it's wrong, because it just felt like when I look back on it that I handled it in my emotions, and I handled it. I was sort of selfish, which I needed to be at that time. And I did think about, what if this is something that's still occurring because they have children and what have you. But I believe that if you are a predator, that means there's a pattern. And that means at some point in time, one of those people are going to speak out, and they are going to say something, and the cover going to be pulled on you. That's what I think. I have to believe that. And I think my focus is on, and the caller is very insightful with this. I care about people a whole lot. And I don't want anybody to be hurt. So I'm always thinking on both sides. I remember when I was pastoring, and I couldn't stand a man that would put his hand on a woman. And because I was like that, I missed several opportunities of really being empathetic and able to minister to a man that was beating his wife, because that's what he saw that men do to women. He didn't know no better. And because he trusted me as a leader, I could have helped him. I didn't see it till after it was all over. But then later I had another opportunity. And that's something I can discern. If you a woman beater, I can pick you up. And I discerned it, and eventually he ended up sharing it with me. Actually, there were members, and she told me that she was getting beat. And so I, using wisdom, able to create a conversation to give him an opportunity to tell me the truth. And he did. And because he trusted me, I was able to help him. They couldn't get him in therapy. I assisted him in going to therapy. I was doing spiritual counseling and therapy, but he went to a professional therapist, and that was no longer a part of his relationship. So I think from both sides. Some people say, oh, you just so biased, you protect women, you protect children. Well, if you listen to me, I think about everybody involved, but I go with the side of what I think is right. And I try to think about everything. I was doing an interview yesterday, and they said, what's the biggest mistake you ever done doing this job? I said, it's only thinking about the victim or the person that was saying somebody did something to them. And it just kept me from not seeing everything the way that I should. Because some of these folks screaming victim, and some of these people, like in the case with that apostle, that come out talking about you touched me at 5 and 6, they after money. Some are really after authentically a resolve, but it's personal, like the caller said. And some people just want to get you back. And I'm aware of that. That happens. These women blow the whistle on their man because, they mad with the man because he went to another woman. And because I was not thinking about I made some mistakes on the platform. So in my personal life and the way that I resolve here, I'm going to be thinking about all sides all the time. And we don't ever have to agree. And I love that you guys trust me enough to call in here and say what you think. Because that's what I want to hear. Because I just did it. And we don't have to, and I'm not disregarding anything she said. Because let me tell you something. I just know how things work. If I'm close to that stops my progression and development. And it can also stop the exposure of what could be a predator. But by me being open to that, who knows? We could find out a year from now that he touched his children. I just trust God or the universe, or however you guys think, enough to that what you plant will grow. You will reap what you sow. And God don't need my help in getting it done. I sit back and watch. Next call. How can I say that? Next call. Let's see this case. Caller ending in 9209. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute. What happened? Caller, you can't hear me? All right. Next one. I've seen that one before. Caller ending in 9233. What's your name? Where they calling from? Got 1 minute. Caller. Okay. This must have went out. No, I'm not muted. They can't hear me. Okay, we got something this month all the way up. Lord have mercy. But can they still hear me out there? Okay, y'all can still hear me? Okay. Oh, Elfrida, you're typing in the address wrong. It's 244-224. 244-224. Yeah, that's wrong. The mailing address. Okay. You said somebody that's... We hear you fine is their phone. Okay, something's going on with the system. I hate that. But maybe I can come live later on this week and we can discuss the topic. Just have a call-in show. If you have enjoyed tonight and it was fun and you enjoyed the comment section, make sure you stop by MBNNetwork on Venmo and also on CashApp. Remember in the 8s, or hit us up on Zelle using the email info@thembnnetwork.org, or you can go to the website. You go to the website, LarryReidLive.com. Oh, and you guys, something is being built there. I'm going to tell you about it when it get done. Because we got to go through the trials and work out all the kinks. So it won't be done like we did with the app. But it will integrate with the app. So everything we're going to do on the website can integrate with the app. You can donate on LarryReidLive.com. Because we actually building our own thing. But I'll tell you about it. If you want to mail it in, you can do 780 Marasco Drive. That's Kendall. You got? Oh no, you're right. Marasco Drive, Northeast 244-224, Atlanta, Georgia 30324. I want to thank you so much for watching. We laughed, we learned a little bit, we got a little intense and serious, and got real silly. It was a long Larry Live. We ain't done this in a long time. But I want to thank the 3,000 plus of you that sit here and watched us live and enjoyed this platform on Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. The Lord bless all of y'all. And I'll talk with you later on. Goodbye.
Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text Larry Reid Live to 33222. That's the words Larry Reid Live with no spaces to 33222 and get notified when we go live. Become a member of the Patreon. Log on to LarryReidLive.com, click Patreon, sign up, download the Patreon app, and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
Yeah.